Okay, so the reason why I discussed the first solution with you, the one wherein you will have to add or deduct the 350 and the 100 class, it will help you as you solve problems in the exam because it will allow you to solve problems without having to write down anything on the questionnaire. Okay, you just try to solve the difference between the 1 million and the 1,300,000, which you should be able to solve without using your calculator class. Okay, but I hope you understand it's not the 1,300,000, but it should be the 1,350,000. So you just get the difference between the change, you just get the change in your AR and get the change in your advances and understand what will be the effect of those two things to the 4,600,000 as you try to convert them into sales under cash basis. Okay, that would be the most ideal class. But if you're still not yet comfortable with that one, this one would still be better rather than the one wherein you will have to memorize add, beginning, uh, deduct, beginning, add, ending. It's better if you understand what's happening, class. Okay. So basically, what you're trying to look for is the amount on the credit side, which represents your payment or collection, which leads me to the reminder class. It's possible that the same problem will be given to you, but instead it will tell you that sales under cash basis is 4,350,000, and you will be asked how much would be the sales under accrual. And basically, what you're trying to look for is the one on the debit side. But the same joint T account can be used to solve that problem. Here in the next problems, we will not need to use a joint T account. We'll only be using one T account for the affected account. Okay, let's proceed with 14-2. The question here is, if the entity desires to prepare a cash basis income statement, what amount should be reported as sales for the current year? And what's given here? A service organization had 200,000 in cash sales and 3 million in credit sales. Okay, let's focus first on the credit sales. So basically, this would be the amount that we will see here on the debit side of our T account. Do you follow, class? So the sales, this would be 3 million. And then, since you do not have advances in this problem, so definitely there will be nothing there. Do you follow, class? Also, the same for the beginning balance of your advances. That would also be 0. What we have, though, is the beginning balances of your accounts receivable. Which one is the beginning, class? The 400 or the 485? Okay, so if you cannot understand which one is the beginning, class, then again, that would be a very big problem. The beginning would be 400, which would be posted in which side, class? Debit side. And then the ending class would be how much? 485. So this is actually an oversimplified version of the problem in 14-1. Okay. So that means beginning AR is 400, sales on account is 3 million. That means the total debit side would be 3,400,000. Okay. If the total debits is 3,400,000, that means total credits must be 3,400,000 also. And since you already know that the 3,400,000 would be composed of your ending AR and your collections, and knowing that ending AR is 485, that means collections on your sales on account amounted to how much? 2,915,000. But why is that not the answer? Because what does the 2,915 represent? This represents collections on your sales on account or on credit. So what else is lacking there? Cash sales of 200. So you will have to add or include your cash sales of 200. Okay, so that will give you 3,115,000. If you're using the T account, class, to abbreviate the procedure, class, instead of putting sales here of 3 million, just add the cash sales already. Okay, if you change the cash sales to 3,200,000, your total debits would be 3,600,000, and then your total credit should also be 3,600,000. Then if you deduct the 485, you'd already arrive at 3,100,000. Why is this simpler? Why is this simpler than 14-1? The source of our collection is only from the receivable, no advance payments. Okay, so the answer there is simply letter D. And how else is this different from 14-1? There is also no write-offs. Okay? Because again, why is the write-off relevant in the previous problem? Because it affected your AR. Because what we really need is your AR balance before the write-off, so that the amount of difference that we would get, the amount of change would only come from the difference between the sales on account and the collection. Let's proceed with 14-3. What's the question here? Under cash basis, what amount of revenue should be reported for the current year? Okay. So the 2 million here, class, and the 3 million that will give you the cash sales net of the returns and allowances would be 1,900,000. And then the credit sales net of the discount would be 2,850,000. If you add those two, those would be your sales under accrual, class. Okay, but again, what's our issue with the sales under accrual? It includes an amount, it includes sales that have not yet been collected. So what do we do to remedy that one? Remove sales that have not yet been collected. And where can we get that information? By looking at the change in your AR. And how much is the change in your AR, class? What happened to your AR? Decreased from 1 million to 750. It decreased by how much? 250. What does it mean if your AR decreased? That would mean collections were greater than the amount of credit sales. Okay? So again, collections are greater. That means sales under cash basis should be greater. Okay? So what do? We will have to add the amount of decrease in your AR. Why is this different from 14-1? What was the scenario in 14-1? AR increased. That means collections were lesser. Understandably, sales under cash basis would be lower than the sales under accrual. But here, what's the scenario, class? AR decreased. What does that tell us? That your sales under cash basis would be greater than your sales under accrual. So what do? You add the amount of difference. Basically, the sales under accrual did not include amounts that were already collected. So what do? Add the amounts that were already collected. By how much did our collections exceed our credit sales, class? 250. That would also be the amount by which our sales under cash basis will exceed our sales under accrual basis. So what do? You add the 250. Okay? So 1,900 class plus 2,850 plus 250 will give you how much? It will still give you the same 5 million. Okay, so I hope you understand where these amounts are coming from. 14-4, under cash basis, what amount should be reported as sales? Okay, so I think we can still use this one. What do we have? Plus, can we agree to combine our cash sales and sales on account na lang, class? Okay, we will put that in our T account, but I hope you understand that your cash sales will not go through your AR anymore. But for purposes of our, sige, let's just exclude the cash sales na lang. Sales on account, how much? $3 million. And then What else do we have? Do we have our beginning and ending balances of our AR class? How much? 1 million ang beginning. And then the ending, 1,680,000. Because but the 1,680,000 was already after the write-off. Okay, to simplify our analysis class, please work back. How much must have been the AR before write-off, assuming the write-off was recorded at the end of the year? What do? You add back the write-off. How much were written off, class? 120. So you add it back to 1,680. That would be 1,800,000. Because I hope you understand what we're doing, class. Ending AR is 1,680. But the 1,680 does not just come from the difference between collections and sales. Okay, so I want you to work back the ending AR before the write-off. Or if you don't want that, class, just prepare another line for your write-off. So are you following? Let's complete this the account, class. Sales was 3 million, excluding cash sales. And then beginning AR was 1 million. And then ending AR was 1,680,000. If you prepare another line for your write-offs, you will have 120. Okay, that's why I told you your ending AR before the write-off is 1,800,000. Now, advances are not involved. So if beginning AR is 1 million and your sales on account is 3 million, that means your total debits would be 4 million. If total debits is 4 million, if total debits is 4 million, total credits must also be 4 million. And if your ending AR before write-off is 1,800,000, that would mean if you work it, if you squeeze your payment or your collections, the amount of payment or collections would be 2,200,000. Okay, but why is that not the answer? Because it does not include yet your cash sales. That's why, class, when I do this, I just lump the cash sales and sales on account together, class. Okay, so if we adjust this one, just change the sales. Instead of 3 million, change it to 3,500,000. That would mean your total debits and credits would be 4,500,000, and then the amount of payment or collection that you'll be able to work back would already be 2,700,000. Because very important ang 1.8, class, ha? It came from 1,680, then you add back the write-off. Okay, what we need is the balance of your AR before write-offs. (14-5). This is simpler already. What we need would be your T account for your prepaid insurance. Okay, now, that's what happened in this problem. You're asked how much insurance premium you paid for. And what does the problem tell us? That all insurance premiums paid are debited to prepaid insurance, meaning when you pay for insurance, what's your entry? Debit, prepaid insurance, and credit, cash. Okay? Next, for interim reporting, you make monthly charges to insurance expense with an offset to prepaid insurance, meaning when you recognize prepaid insurance, when you recognize insurance expense, what is your entry? Debit, insurance expense, and your credit would be prepaid insurance. Okay? So basically, that's the one class. In your T account for your prepaid insurance, you have the beginning there, the ending on the credit side. What you're looking for is the payment which is posted on the debit side. Because what did we say? What will increase your prepaid insurance? Every time you make payments for insurance. And then what will decrease your insurance class? The recognition of your insurance expense. Why will the recognition of insurance expense decrease your prepaid insurance? Because your entry is debit, debit, prepaid insurance, and credit. Sorry, debit, insurance expense, and credit, prepaid insurance. That's why the amount of insurance expense will be a credit posting to your prepaid insurance. So let's supply all the missing information. Are we given with our beginning prepaid insurance class, which is 150? And then what we're looking for is the payments class. Do you follow? Okay, what's given though is the amount of ending prepaid insurance. How much is the ending prepaid insurance? And then what else is given is the amount of insurance expense during the year, which has amounted to 625,000. Now in this case, unlike the previous problems, which side is complete? Credit side. And how much would be the total postings to your credit side? 800,000. So if total credits is 800,000, that means your total debits must also be 800,000. Knowing that the sum of your beginning and the payments is 800,000 and that your beginning is 150, what does that tell us? That the payment for insurance during the year is 650,000. And that's it. Because if this comes out, class, you should feel insulted. Let's proceed to problem 14-6. The policy is every month you will have to make a recording. Okay, it just means that you are already able to update for the end of the year. Your question is, class, when you make adjustments at the end of the year, it is to record insurance expense for the year. So that means it was correctly included in the 625. So possible confusion would be, shouldn't we deduct the 25 from 625? No, because it should be part of your expenses during the year. Okay? Is that okay, class? Let's proceed to 14-6. Hopefully, we can encounter a problem wherein the additional information will be relevant. What amount was paid for operating expenses? So basically, you just have to determine how much of your insurance expense was paid, how much of your salaries expense were paid. Do we have to include depreciation, class? No, because the depreciation will not be paid in cash. Let's start with insurance. Insurance expense is 700,000. But if you look at your prepaid insurance class account, what happened? Okay, class, this is an example of what I told you, class. The left side is now the ending. The right side is the beginning, class. So what happened? Increase. Class, again, you have to be very careful, class. Okay? If you just switch the two, your erroneous answer would most likely still be in the choices, class. So be careful, class. So prepaid insurance here is And the problem with that, class, kay, you come out from the exam feeling confident with your answer, ba kay you understood it and it's in the choices, class. So what happened to your prepaid insurance? It increased. Now, what are the two basic transactions affecting your prepaid insurance? Payment for insurance and insurance expense. Now, what happened to your prepaid insurance? It increased by 50. So what does that mean? If it increased, that means payments were greater than the amount of actual expenses. And since we're looking for amount of payments, class, what do we do with the difference of 50? You will have to add the 50 to the 700. Do you get the analysis, class? Class, the only reason your prepaid insurance will increase is if the payments were greater than, the increases were greater than the decreases. The increases comes from payments or purchases of insurance, and the decreases will come from expiration of your insurance. Okay, so that means the payments were greater than your expenses. So you add the 50. Salaries, what happened to salaries? Salaries expense were 1,500,000. And then accrued salaries payable, which is a liability, what happened? It decreased. For your liability, what are the two basic transactions affecting your salaries payable? Salaries that has accrued will increase your liability, and then it will decrease with payments. Okay, or it will increase with salaries expense and decrease with payments. And what happened to the salaries payable? It decreased. So that means payments were greater or lesser, class? Greater. Okay, your liabilities decreased, man. That means your payments were greater than your actual salaries expenses. Salaries expense. So if you're looking for your amount of payments, what do you do with the 1,500,000? Increase it by the amount of decrease in your accrued salaries. How much? 20,000. So you add the 20,000. So 750. Do you get the 750, class? 750 plus 1,500,000. 20 will give you how much? 2,207,000. Let's try if I can still. 14-7, class. A question that can be solved by a senior high student. What would be the balance? Plus capital, class. How do you determine your ending capital? Capital beginning plus investments minus withdrawals plus or minus profit or loss. How much is your beginning capital? 200. Do you have withdrawals? Yes, 100. So what else will affect your capital account? Your net profit or your net loss. So the only issue here is how much would be your revenues, how much would be your expenses. Let's start with your revenues. The proprietor provided 500,000 of services in February. So was it already earned? Was it already earned? Yes. Will it be recognized as revenue already under cash basis? Yes, because by March, it was already paid in full. When was our reporting date? End of March. Next, we incurred expenses. So under accrual, we will already have an expense on February. Do you follow, class? Okay, but was it already paid by March? When was it paid? And under cash basis, do we already have expenses? So our expenses would be 0. So revenues of 500 minus expenses of 0, our net income would be net income. Net income pa lang, 500. So beginning capital of 200 plus income of 500 minus withdrawal of 100, our ending capital balance under cash basis would be 600. Again, if this comes out in the exam, you should feel insulted. Okay, I think we can still do one more. Question here is, what amount should be reported as sales in the income statement for the year ended? So reverse. We're given with cash basis, class, and we're trying to look for we're trying to look for the sales under accrual class. Okay? So let's try if we can still use the T account class. What are we given with, man? A selected use cash basis, the entity reported sales of 1,750 and 800 in the tax returns in 2019 and 18. So 2019, 1,750. Plus, if sales is 1,750 in 2019, that means that is the amount of payment or collections. We'll place that there in the missing box class. In this case, it is no longer missing. Okay? What else do we have? The entity reported accounts receivable of 300 and 500 in the statement. Which one is the beginning there? The 300 or the 500? 500. So, this one would be, hopefully there's no write-off. What else is given? That's it. Perhaps the textbook should not have started with 14-1. Okay, after 14-1, everything would be easy for you naman. So which side is complete? Credit side. So that means the total credit is how much? 2,050,000. So if the total credit is 2,050,000, that means the total debit must also be 2,050,000. And then, knowing that the 2,050,000 will be the sum of the beginning AR and your sales under accrual, that means all you have to do is to deduct 500 from 2,150,000, 2,050,000. And that will tell you that the sales under accrual would be 1,550,000. Let's just end here.